if you're on TikTok and you want to be able to see these slides, then you can actually go to my Facebook community, Socially Awesome Entrepreneurs, right there inside my stand store, and you'll be able to get all of these slides. But hello, welcome. Drop in the comments where you're watching from. Today, we are really focused on standing out in a crowded market, okay? Because this is something that is so important in order for you to get views on your content, reach, and ultimately sales, right? Everyone that I know of that's promoting a business on social media, their goal is sales, right? You're not doing this for free. So we want to make sure that your content is being seen, because ultimately views are not what pays the bills for most people. There are some people that are influencers and, you know, their main focus is views and creator funds and things like that. But for the majority of us, right, we have a product or service, we have some sort of offer. And I want to talk about today just some ways to make your content stand out. I'm getting this shared into my Facebook community. Done. All right, let's get diving into this. So a couple things that we really need to know when it comes to standing out on social media is the biggest piece of this is being authentic, right? Because if you look like everyone else on social media, you look like everyone else. You're blending in, right? That's kind of common sense. But today I want to give you some, not only tips on ways that you can stand out, but I'm going to give you some action items. So if you're with me and you're here and you're watching, make sure that you drop in the comments any questions that you have. And then as always, I want this to be as interactive as possible. So make sure that you are, engaging in the comment section. I always come back, I answer the questions at the end. And I did ask in my Facebook community, and I also put it on my stories this morning, what are some questions that you have? So we're going to really dive in. Today's training is probably going to be a little bit longer than normal. So if you have to jump off, totally understand. You'll always be able to see this replay on my Facebook business page or in my Facebook community. Okay. So let's dive right in. I always like to start these off by introducing myself. Just super quick. A lot of you already know this. I go live every Wednesday at noon CST. I've been doing that for 2 years now with some sort of training, right? And I try to formulate these trainings around topics that you're struggling with. When you come into my private Facebook community, I always ask, what is your biggest challenge? What is your biggest struggle? And then I look at those topics every month as I'm planning my trainings, okay? Everything I teach you, and you can read the slide if you want, but everything that I teach you is things that I have experienced or proven strategies that have worked for me. I don't try to bring a bunch of things to the table and put a bunch more information into your brain, because let's be honest, you've watched 1,000 training modules. You're overwhelmed already with how much information you know, right? You've probably forgotten half of the things that you've learned. I know I have. So my goal is always to not necessarily bring something new or some kind of hack or something that, is going to just be mind-blowing. It's always to break things down and make them simpler for you, and also explain why it's important, because there's so much jargon, so much junk, honestly, on your feed about do this and, use these hashtags and put keywords in your, stuff them to the side of your videos and all of those types of things. Some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them work for other people and they won't work for you. That's just how it is. The most important thing that you can do is find ways to be different and stand out. Okay. And again, I'm not here to bring you a bunch of mind-blowing information. It's to explain to you why it's important that you stand out today. Okay. So again, for those of you that don't know me, Elise Smith, started my business online full-time in June of 2022. I am a mom of 3. I own a multiple six-figure business now. I left my job suddenly. If you don't know my story, maybe one day I'll tell it again, but it's pretty long. Because I have a child on the autism spectrum. So awesome is spelled uniquely. It's not misspelled. It's spelled uniquely to show that you should be showing up online differently, authentically, right? As you are different. And there's a reason that people want to connect with you, but you have to be showcasing that in your content. Okay. I'm not a sales expert, but I am a certified master coach, certified branding strategist, and social media marketing expert. So I do have some credentials there, and I have about 7 years in digital marketing experience. It's actually what I did in corporate before I started my business. So that is part of the reason I was as successful as I was, as quick as I was, because I already had experience in that. We're going to talk about that today too, how you can use your experiences to really propel your business. Okay. But again, I've hit 100,000 in sales in less than 6 months, not once, but twice. Okay. So I've proven that by using these strategies and standing out on social media and building a community, you do reap the benefits for that. Okay. So let's go ahead and dive right into the training. I'm going to give you, like I said, tips today. All right. I'm going to explain some ways to do that. I'm trying to give you as many real life examples as possible. You know, if you've watched any of my trainings, I'm not a conceptual trainer. I hate when I watch a training and they're like, this is what you need to do, but they don't actually tell you how to do it. Okay. So my goal today is to give you action steps, and then stick with me till the end, because I've got some announcements and just some free trainings and things I want you to plug into to really propel this into your business. Okay. And right before I start, I always like to give this disclaimer. None of this will help you if you don't actually do it. Okay. So again, I've been doing free trainings for over 2 years, every single Wednesday at noon. Some of them have been an hour and a half, 2 hours long, that I come live and I help people. But if you don't take what you're learning here today and put it into your business and implement it, of course, it's not going to do anything for you. Just watching videos and watching modules does absolutely nothing. You will get so much more success by taking messy, massive action, making mistakes, just getting it out there, than you will making and waiting for it to be perfect. Okay. So if you see something today, and I hope that you do, that's like, okay, I need to try that, I want you to do it. And I want you to do it quickly. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not next week. I want you to say, okay, I'm going to get this done today. Okay. Set yourself some goals. So first and foremost, tip number 1, be uniquely and authentically awesome, right? So you are different, right? There's no 2 people in the world that are alike. Even identical twins have something that's different, right? Your voice is different. The way you speak to people are different. The way you carry yourself is different. And you have to learn how to bleed that into your content. More than likely right now, especially if you're new, and I consider anyone that hasn't been doing this longer than a year new, okay? Because businesses aren't built overnight. Most businesses take 5 years to become profitable. So especially if you're new, you more than likely are watching all of these large creators that are doing something similar to you, or that are successful online in some way. And you're like, okay, I need to be doing what they're doing because it's working, right? And one thing you don't see is their chapter 1 through 50, right? You're only seeing chapter 51 where they're now profitable, where they're now successful. Okay. And that's just because most people do, top of funnel type content, or that they don't give you all of the information in their little videos. Okay. So you're watching so many other creators and you're going, okay, that's working. I need to do that too. And that's great. That's a great strategy, right? Doing market research, seeing what's working, but adapting it and making it you, making it authentic, not a copy paste, right? And this is going to be in the form of the way you speak to people. That also goes for your copywriting, so any written content, right? But how are you being authentic? How are you taking the way you act in real life, the way you speak in real life, and putting it into your content? Okay, so many times you're probably thinking like, you probably type out an Instagram caption or type out a Facebook post or script out a video in your language, and then you doubt yourself and you're like, oh, no one's going to want to watch this. This is boring, right? Or, oh, I shouldn't say that word. I might offend someone. You're second guessing it. And if you don't show up authentically in your content, it can actually hurt your brand. Okay. The last thing you want to happen is you to put out a piece of content, it go viral, right? Maybe you spoke in this very professional language and it resonated with people. I don't know. You go viral and then you get in the DMs and they're like, whoa, this is not the same person I was talking to. Or I saw, this ain't the same content I saw. This ain't the same person. People are going to start second guessing your authenticity if you look and speak different in every piece of content. The best way to do this is be yourself, right? Be yourself. I got an accent. Sometimes I say cuss words. I am not very formal in my language. I probably mispronounce half the stuff I say. And guess what? That does not discredit my marketing knowledge at all. Okay. I'm a very casual, literal person. I'm a very action oriented person. I don't like to just sit here and talk about all the things I'm going to do. I'd rather go do them. And so that bleeds in my content. And sure, there might be some 7-figure CEOs watching my content going, man, she's, she needs to refine herself a little bit. She needs to act a little more professional. But they're not my ideal client, right? They're not my ideal client. So let's talk about some ways for you to be more authentic and be more unique, okay? Because again, standing out is all about being different. Standing out. If not, you're blending in. So couple actionable things you can do to try to stand out. One, having some sort of signature, okay? So think about something you can do or some way you can have a signature on your content, right? I'll give you some examples of mine that might, help you a little bit. I do a lot of A-roll content, me speaking to the camera. Okay. I'm not the best at B-roll. I am not the best at copywriting. I'd prefer to tell you instead of type it. Okay. So that is a part of my signature, is that, majority of my content, especially on TikTok, is A-roll, me speaking. People can hear my voice, right? Another signature my brand has are these live trainings. Every Wednesday at noon for over 2 years, I have gone live. It's a signature. It's something people can count on, right? It's something people can relate to. It's something people can say, I know Elise is going to be live at noon, right? I have some people in my community that have it on their calendar. They've sent me screenshots of their calendar before, which is hilarious. And I love it. Okay. But having some sort of signature, something that's consistent, right? Another example of a signature, maybe you do a series, right? We've got create a series. Maybe you do a series on TikTok of, tips for your ideal client in 60 seconds or less. And you start every one of those videos saying, here's why you need to be using hashtags in your content in 60 seconds or less. And every one of your videos has like a stamp, right? You're stamping it by telling people, this is what I'm going to help you in 60 seconds or less. So people start to know your content, right? They start to understand your brand. They start to say, I know this chick's got the best tips and it doesn't take her longer than a minute to spit it out. That's not me. A lot of my videos are super long, but you get what I'm saying. Have some sort of signature content people can look for. And it doesn't have to be videos. Maybe you're on LinkedIn and you write weekly articles. Maybe you're a blogger. Maybe you're a podcaster, right? But have something that is consistent, that people know you for, right? They know your content for that. Stamp your brand on everything. Okay. So obviously my brand is a brand name, right? Socially awesome. The main reason I did not use my real name as my brand name is because most people can't spell my first name correctly and they still misspell awesome. So there's that. But your brand can be your actual name. It doesn't have, you don't need a logo or a business name, but you need to stamp it on everything. Okay. On everything. So your colors, your fonts, if you're naming a product, try to stick with some sort of branding. I'll give you another example. Social Success Academy, Social Success Club, Social Success Challenge. Are you noticing a trend here, right? I'm stamping my brand on everything because the Social Success Academy is actually it's in the process of being trademarked. Okay. So I filed for trademarks on my brand name and my academy name. And I stamp that on everything because it's what people are starting to know for using social success, right? Coming in 2025 will be the Social Success Circle. And I'm not spilling any more details about that, but I'm already thinking a year ahead, 2 years ahead, 5 years ahead. Okay. So you need to be stamping your branding on everything. So think about some ways that you can stand out like that, right? When I write emails to you or reply to your emails, I sign them off, stay awesome. I spell it the way I spell it, right? Or if I'm replying to your comments and your DMs, I'll say, that's awesome. And I spell it the way I spell it. Really think about ways that you can stand out. Okay. And then we talked about this just a little bit, but creating a series of some sort, right? So one thing that's so important, and we'll talk about this throughout today's training, is that everything has to come back to your offer, right? If you're trying to generate sales, everything you put out into the online space has to be related to the solution that you provide. So maybe I have a student that is a credit repair expert, and she prefers not to use repair because she's branding it uniquely. But she helps you build your credit. She helps you fix your credit. And she also, just provides tips and things like that about reading your credit report and, finding errors on it and how you take care of that and all of those types of things, right? She could create a series easily, but the top 10 things you need to know about your credit report, right? And so tip number one, you need to know your name should be the only one on the credit report. If someone else's name is on your credit report, there's a problem. Let's fix it, right? But that all leads back to her digital products, right? Her workbook, all of those things. So in this series, if someone finds her on tip 2, and she says, okay, this is part 2 of a 10-part series, of course they're going to keep watching, especially if part 2 was awesome. They're going to want to go back and watch part 1, and they're going to keep watching part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you can't just go create a series about, TikTok tips and you're trying to sell something totally unrelated. Okay. So you have to really think about what are the different, parts or components to how you help people. But creating a series is a really good way to stand out because you get known for something, right? And that's one thing that we really have to stress is, in order to be an expert in your space, you have to be known for something. You can't possibly be known for everything. All right. So really think about this. Another way is to have a damn opinion. Okay. On social media, you're either going to be loved or you're going to be hated. Okay. But the last thing you want to do is be in the middle, because then you're just blending in. All right. Sometimes I'm both on different days. Okay. That's just how it is. But having an opinion is one of the best ways for you to stand out. You're scared to post that bold piece of content that you're going to piss someone off or you're going to lose a sale. You got to let that go. Okay. You got to let that go. And when you have this opinion and you create content around it, you don't need to just go out and say, I hate grow lives and this is why, or, this is why you shouldn't do it. You need to explain to people. You need to rationalize it in a way that people understand and see your perspective, because then they start to see you as an authority or an expert, right? Versus just another tip. So some recent opinions I've given on social media that have performed really well. 1, grow lives are the worst thing you could do for your business. I know you might be being told by other experts to join Grow Lives so that you can get to that 1,000 follower mark on TikTok and put your link in or whatever. They're ruining your business. And then I explain to people why. 1, they're bringing in a bunch of people that are not your ideal client. Okay. So now you're flooding your audience with people who don't give a shit about what you're selling. All right. 2, it throws off your content. It throws it off. Because those people might follow you real quick and you're like, oh, my content's doing pretty good. I got 100 followers today. And then guess what? None of them engage with it. So your content probably sucks and you don't even know it because you grew and you think, I'm doing pretty good. So then you keep doing what you're doing. You keep posting the same type of content and it keeps not working, right? Another reason is they throw off your metrics. So your metrics are literally a gold mine for how you should be planning your content strategy. They tell you what to fix, how to fix it, when to fix it, everything you need to know about your analytics are it. All right. And you're throwing your analytics off by flooding with a bunch of people that are random. So not only do I just give my opinion and say, this is terrible and you shouldn't do it, but I'm changing your thought process. Okay. There's going to be people that disagree with me, especially the ones that host the Grow Lives. All right. And there's going to be people in my comments that are going to say, I use Grow Lives to grow my business and it hasn't hurt me at all. They're going to disagree. That's okay. It's okay. But the biggest thing is when you have that opinion, you have to be confident in it. And again, you have to make sure it goes back to your ideal client. So you're not just throwing out opinions out there like, I think I don't want to say anything political. I'm trying to think of something that's not political because right now that's been a hot topic in my house, but I don't bring that to social media. All right. You know, I think that people should, you know, not be worried about the cost of groceries. And here's why. Like, you don't want to just go into something that's not related to your ideal client. The whole goal of having an opinion on social media is to show why your way is better, why your solution is better. Okay. So stop being scared of putting your opinion out there. Stop, just get over it. You're going to get some nasty comments, nasty DMs. Guess what? That's why the block button is there. Okay. So action item for this, some things I want you to think about. I want you to take 10 minutes today. Okay. Again, we're not putting this off another week, and write down 3 things that make you different or unique. Okay. So 3 things from your story. You have a story. Everyone has been through trials and tribulations and, you know, had things happen in their life. What are 3 things that make your brand or your story unique that matter to your audience, right? Okay. And really think about how you can start to put those in your content. So if I go make a piece of content today about a TikTok tip or TikTok tips, part of my story is that I have lost 2 TikTok accounts. One at 10,000 followers and another one at like 5,000. So I might put that in that piece of content by saying, I grew this account to over 72,000 followers in 1 year. And after losing 2 accounts, one at 10,000, one at around 5,000 followers. And here are the things that I did to grow this account. So I'm giving you my tips, I'm educating you, and I'm sharing a part of my story that says, hey, I've been where you are. I've lost an account, 2 accounts already. And, you know, these are 3 things that you need to know if you're growing from scratch. So something that's relevant to them, right? I probably wouldn't put in that video how I struggled with infertility and all of those types of things. Like, that probably wouldn't matter in that, right? So you're going to have different pieces of your story that will relate back to your ideal client. It's another thing. Maybe I make, you know, a video about 10 things I wish I knew when I started my business, and I can insert a part of my story there about, I'm a mom of 3. I have a child with special needs. I get it. Your time is limited. So I want to give you 10 things that helped me with my business, or I wish I would have known when I was getting started, so that you don't make those same mistakes. That would be relevant to that video, right? So you need to think about what are parts of your story or what makes you different. Okay. And then 3 things you disagree with as well. This is actually a piece of content that I plan on filming hopefully today, but I think that ChatGPT and these AI tools are absolutely incredible. I use them every day, all day in my business. But I also think ChatGPT has ruined content in a way for people that can't look past it, right? You might not have an opinion at this point, or you're not acknowledging your opinions because you're just letting ChatGPT write your content for you, right? Or, you know, you're second guessing your opinions because, and the reason I say this is because I had a conversation with someone 2 days ago that was like, well, ChatGPT told me these are the top 10 tips for people in my industry. And I'm like, that's cool. But what are some tips you've actually done? What are some tips that you could give people from your experience, right? Because your experience and your story matter more than what ChatGPT told you. So I think way too many people are just taking the easy road out, and you've lost some of that creativity or that inspiration to go create authentic content because you're taking the easy way and letting ChatGPT do all the work. So again, I'm not discrediting it. I use it all day long in my business, but it definitely doesn't run my business for me, right? And a lot of my creativity comes from my own experiences. So you have to start having your own experiences if you're not already, okay? You have to start taking action and implementing. So write this down. If you need to come back, you can get the replay, but these are some things you need to do today, okay? Tip number 2, focus on quality, all right? Quality content. Quality content. And let's talk about what quality really means, okay? Now, before we dive into what quality really means, there are some exceptions to this, okay? So I really believe that when you're first getting started, okay, in the first year, a lot of times it's better to focus on quantity, okay? Because the only way you're going to produce quality content is by producing quantity, so that you can know, okay, this works, this doesn't, this works, this doesn't. And you get more comfortable with content, okay? So if you're brand new and you're producing a lot of content, that's normal. The only way you're going to start learning how to produce quality is by doing the quantity. Okay. But with that being said, you need to be looking at your metrics. You need to be studying what's working, what's not working, so that you can start to refine that quality. Okay. So in like my TikTok Tactics Challenge, I share in the older version, the old videos. So if you get the challenge, you get access to the old videos and the new ones now, because it's been updated. But in the old videos, I posted 3 times a day, every single day for probably 8 months. It wasn't until about 8 months in that I went down to 2 videos a day. Sometimes I still post 3, but I had to get good at creating A-roll content. I had to have those muscles, those reps in, right? Because if you're posting 1 time a day, every day for a year, that's 365 videos, right? Same thing goes with if you're a B-roll and you're typing, you're producing 365 pieces of content. If I did it 3 times a day, every day for a year, that's well over 1,000. You're going to be exponentially better by producing a large amount of quantity in the beginning. So that is the exception to this rule, is that, when you're first getting started, focusing more on quantity, producing more so that you can understand what is quality. Okay. So with that being said, I just didn't want to be like, well, you're contradicting what you teach in the challenge. That's why I teach that in the challenge. You got to practice to get good. You're not coming out the womb being good. Okay. So some things that make quality content: 1, the video, right? So if you're doing video content, we're talking about, the lighting, the audio, the editing, watching your spacing. If you've got things blocking your face, or you've got all these emojis that are popping up like this and distracting, stop. Okay. We got to look at quality video. You got to make sure that I'm not saying you got to go buy the latest phone, but hopefully your camera is decent. Okay. If you have an older phone, this is a ninja tip here. If you have an older phone, and your video quality is not so good, use the back facing camera. Okay. I know that's harder. There are tricks that you can YouTube, on how to do that, but that camera is exponentially, better on all phones. Okay. But you really need to be looking at the quality of your video. Part of this is going to come by planning your content. All right. And this is where everybody kind of sinks in their chair and they're like, I don't have time. Part of the reason that your quality might not be so good is because you're like, I got 5 minutes before I got to go to work. Let me hurry up and make that video. And it's raining and thunderstorming outside and people can't hear you talking because the outside noise is so loud, and it's dark because the clouds. So your video ends up being terrible quality. Okay. Because you didn't plan. If you had a plan and you batched your content, that wouldn't be a problem. Right. Same thing goes with like maybe you rambling in your videos, or you're not getting to the point. The quality, the audio, all of that can be fixed by having a plan, planning your content. All right. So again, focusing on quality content. Same thing goes with copywriting. If you're someone that's doing B-roll, or you're a blogger, or you're doing copywriting, you need to be focusing on storytelling and getting better at copywriting. Okay. Not letting ChatGPT do it for you. All right. The second piece of that makes a quality piece of content is the information you're giving. Is it unique? Is it different? Can it even help them? Okay. So if you're giving the same basic ass tips as everyone else on social media, of course you're not going to stand out. Okay. Of course you're not going to stand out. A lot of the tips that are going around on social media are good information, but they're so generic and vague. Okay. If I made a piece of content today that's like, here's how you're going to build a content strategy. Step 1, know your audience. Step 2, pick 3 pillars. Step 3, create some content. Like, you would unfollow me in a second, because you're going to be like, that is the same crap I could find on Google. Right. So what information are you providing and how is it different? So that is like the outline of kind of creating a content strategy. Right. But what information that you're providing is different. I like to teach, start with the end in mind. I just went through this in the Views to Revenue Masterclass about how your content is so much easier to create when you start at the bottom of it or the end of it and work backwards, right? Because your hook should be related to your call to action, even on a Facebook post. So if you start with the end, then you know what is the goal of this piece of content. What am I trying to get people to do? And then you work backwards. That is something I teach that a lot of people don't teach. It's different. And hopefully it makes it easier for you, right? Another way that I bring more valuable information rather than just generic crap is giving examples. I get comments every day of people thanking me for examples, because a lot of times, a lot of content creators, they don't want to give you the examples because they feel like if they give it to you, you're going to go reverse engineer it and then you're not going to have to buy their thing. Okay. And that's insecurity on their part. Okay. There's way too many people out there providing concepts and not actionable items. So when I give a video or I give a tip, an educational video, I give examples. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can go watch my TikToks about how to make better hooks. I give examples. Like I said, this is what you need to do. This is why, and this is how to do it. I'm not afraid to give you those examples. I'm not afraid that that's going to hurt my sales. Okay. Because what's going to happen is, in return, a year from now, when you're looking for a coach, you're going to be like, you know what? Elise is probably, giving me the most information out of everybody on my TikTok feed. And I want to work with her. I know that it's a long game by providing information. All right. Providing information. So don't be afraid to give information. And it's really important that you try to think, how are you doing it differently? And for those of you that are MRR, in programs of some sort, affiliate marketers, you still have to do something different. Please stop using the example videos they give you. Just don't do it. It's not working. And I know that. Okay, I got enough DMs. I've done enough content audits and I had enough people in my masterclass. It's not working. It's not. Okay, so this is why you have to start knowing your brand and what makes you different. Because if you look like all other 15,000 people selling the same thing, you are not standing out. All right, I will never tell you that, the market's saturated and you can't make money online anymore. But part of opportunities is getting in at the right time. And so, yeah, they're 50 chapters ahead of you, so it's still working for them. It's not going to work for you. Social media is changing. Okay. And the beauty of it is most of these platforms are starting to reward smaller creators. So you have an advantage if you can stand out. Okay. So action item for this, look at your last 10 posts. I want you to do your own audit. Okay. I want you to do your own audit. And if you want a social media audit, I have 4 left for this month. I only do 10 per month because anybody that's gotten an audit from me will tell you they're well over an hour long of me giving you tips on your business. But I do have 4 left. You can always DM me the word audit on IG and I'll send you the link to that. But I want you to do your own audit. Okay. Look at the last 10 posts and identify which ones get the most engagement and why. And then replicate that quality, that consistency, that branding, right? So if you look at the last 10 posts you've done and they have no engagement, that's a bigger problem. Okay, that's a bigger problem. And I have a ton of free trainings in my Facebook group about hooks and just ways for you to try to, grab attention more. You can search in Socially Awesome Community, hooks, ideal client, like any topic you want. And I probably have a training on it. Okay. But it's really important that you're doing a self audit and seeing what's working and what's not. And if nothing's working, we need to go back to the drawing board. All right. Tip number 3, leverage trends wisely. So you won't see me do a lot of trends on social media. I really like to be different and, stand out. And let's just be honest, I'd rather teach you something than worry about being trendy. But it is a way for you to get more visibility and stand out, okay? Because algorithms are pushing the trends, and I am not one to formulate my business around the algorithm. However, if it favors you, you're a lucky one, okay? So let's talk about some ways to leverage these trends. So the goal isn't virality, all right? So when you're using trends, your goal is not to go viral. Okay. Your goal is to get eyes on your profile, get eyes on your link, get eyes on your other pieces of content. All right. But there is a way to go use trends correctly and incorrectly. So you need to make sure that when you are doing things that are trending, that you are customizing them to your brand. Okay. The worst thing you can do is follow a trend, not customize it to your offer, not customize it to your brand, not customize it to your ideal client, go viral, and you have ruined your account. You've attracted thousands of people that don't care about what you have to offer. So then tomorrow when you go to post about your business, it tanks. Okay. So I'll give you an example of this. I recently did a video, or I stitched the demure video, right? I'm gonna be real honest with you. I had to Google the word demure because I was like, what? What is that? I've never heard that word in my life. And I stitched it on TikTok, and I did a video about ways people could use that trend in their business. That is something my audience will find valuable. How can they use that trend, right? I could have also done it and said something like, see how I go live on TikTok? Very demure, very cutesy, right? Or see how I teach you how to use hooks in your business? Very, like, it would apply, right? So think about ways that you could have used that trend, how it would apply, right? Right now, I saw a trend that came up on my FYP last night on TikTok about what was it? Prawns, the little shrimp, right? And so people are like hunched at their desk like this, corporate prawns or whatever it called it, prawns, I don't know, but I call it shrimp. But that's something that you could do, right? Maybe you're at your desk, you're answering emails, you're like this, and you come back up and you're like, when you realize, working from social media or working from your house has turned you into a corporate shrimp, right? So like there are ways that you can customize it to your business, right? But you need to make sure it's uniquely used so that it benefits, okay? So don't just try to go viral to go viral. It's not going to help you. It's going to hurt you more than anything. So I want to give you some tips on how to find trends. Couple different things you can do. A lot of times these platforms have different ways you can find trends. Of course, your Explore page or your FYP, depending on what platform you're on, usually will have trends on there. Make it easy for yourself. Some things that I do in my business to stay on top of what's happening. I have Google Alerts set up. So you can go to Google Alerts and set up alerts on whatever you want. I have them set up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, any platform I'm on. I have them set up on some like of the larger, really well-known creators, just to kind of see what they're putting out, like Neil Patel, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, like some of these people that have really built big on social media. Okay. Some other ones I have set up. I mean, I have one set up on my name. If someone posts something about me on their blog, I want to know about it. I want to know if it's good, bad, ugly. That's something important. My brand name, of course. And then I've set them up on like different keywords. So like trending on TikTok, trending on Instagram. And every day I get emails, and sometimes I skim them. Sometimes I just delete them because I'm like, okay, I don't want to look at this today. But it comes right to my inbox with things that Google is ranking, right? So that's how a lot of times people are, in my comments, how'd you find out about this? A Google alert. Like, let me know, right? You can also search trending topics for your niche on Google Trends. So go to Google Trends, search that. You can search answerthepublic.com. It will tell you what are things people are Googling. And then, of course, like I said, on TikTok and Instagram, you can look at your FYP. There's a lot of other services out there. You can pay like $5 to $10 a month to get trending audio sent to you, or trends that are happening, or whatever. Totally up to you and your budget, but there are ways to find these quickly, okay, without just scrolling for hours. Another thing is, if you are on IG and you're not already in the Socially Awesome broadcast channel on IG, it's completely free, doesn't cost you anything. If you're on TikTok, you will have to go, you can find it in my Stan store, or you can go to my IG page and just click the little, join the broadcast button, but it's free. Every single day I give tips in there. Of course, they're Instagram related, and I send trending audios in there. So it could also help save you some time. If you're someone who's doing B-roll on IG, every day I'm putting pre-trending or trending audios in there that you can use for your business. So be a lot faster for you if you could just use one of those, right? This morning I shared a trick about how to do something on your stories that's, helpful. So just putting you out on that information, right? So definitely get in there if you're trying to grow on Instagram. But action items here. I want you to find a trending topic or a video trend that you can align with your brand. Okay. And create a piece of content or write it down so you can create it this week with that trend, but with your own twist. Okay. So learning how to use those trends is important. All right. So again, it's not end all be all. You don't even have to use trends, but they are a way for you to grow quickly if you learn how to use them correctly. All right. Tip number 4, be freaking different. I know that sounds, silly, especially since that's the whole name of this training, but if you plan to stand out, you will. Okay. So you need to think about, how can I grab people's attention? How can I stand out more? You need to have a plan for that. Okay. So when you're writing your content topics down to batch your content, or you're planning out your content strategy, think about what would grab people's attention more for this. I got a student of mine that has a course around being a paid reviews creator. Okay. So she teaches you in this course how to get brand deals with UGC, how to find UGC deals, how to make money with the Amazon influencer program, how to get, approved with the program. She talks about different apps that you can actually review local places that you go out to eat and get paid for that. Like, that's her entire course, paid reviews creators. Okay. And if you want more information on that, you can check it out. It's in my stand store under Faith Tools and Resources. But this was something she and I talked about when we were in Voxer, because my academy students are in Voxer with me, is like, what are some things that we can do to stand out, right? So maybe she's going to create a piece of content about how you can get paid to make 60-second videos about every, brown box that gets dropped off at her door from Amazon, right? With the Amazon influencer program. What would grab people's attention with that? Maybe her taking a quick little video of 10 brown boxes the next time she gets an Amazon delivery stacked up at her front door, right? That's going to grab people's attention more, because not only does the video content itself relates to the visual. Okay. That's planning to stand out. That's planning to stand out. You need to be thinking, and I promise, once you get those creative juices flowing, it's like, I need to take a video of this. I need to B-roll this. This will be good content. Like, it'll start to pop in once you have a plan. Okay. Another way that she could do it is, let's say she makes a video about what can you review on Amazon to get paid. She's brushing her teeth, right? Maybe she's brushing her teeth and she's talking about how, she can use that same clip that she's putting on TikTok to review the toothpaste she bought on Amazon, right? That's planning. That's connecting the content to the visual. If this is written content, same thing. You need to think about, how can you stand out in your written content? Is it the language? Is it the voice? Are you sarcastic? Do you have humor? Is it storytelling? Is it descriptive? So when you plan to stand out, you will. All right, you will. But so many of you are so worried about doing what's working that you're afraid to stand out. That fear is real. Okay. You're afraid to look too different. So think about some things that you can do with editing, right? There's a lot that you could do with editing, especially in CapCut. Like, I watched this one girl on Instagram, and I really wish I would have wrote her handle down so I could give it to you. She like walks through letters, and like her body, her legs are like flipped backwards. Of course it's grabbing people's attention, right? Of course. Now, her entire brand is built around teaching you how to edit content. So that makes sense for her. But what are some ways that you can edit your content to grab people's attention more, right? Maybe you're walking to the video. You've got movement in a video is one of the best forms of keeping people's attention. But if you're not planning your content and you're winging it every single day, throwing random spaghetti at the wall, of course you're not going to have time to edit. Of course you're not going to have time to brand it. You're just trying to get it out there. And I will tell you, getting it posted is better than it sitting in your drafts. But until you start planning to stand out, you're not going to. Okay. Think about some ways you can edit your content to stand out. Your voice, right? Tone of voice. So are you funny? Are you sarcastic? Right? Are you bold? Do you talk more in like that nurturing mom voice? Right? But how is your voice different than everyone else? I'm bold, I'm loud, I'm assertive. I mean, most people don't are like, I'm trying to give myself grace here, but like I'm loud in person. If you were in the same room as me, you'd probably be like, holy crap, this girl's on volume 10. I just am. Okay. But that's me and I'm not going to change it. And I project that same, voice and standard online. So think about that. Humor is one of the most underrated tips for standing out on social media. And I'm not telling you go crack, cheesy ass jokes, but if you're a naturally funny person in real life, let that shine through. Be sarcastic a little bit, okay? Have a voice that don't go create a new persona, but how are you in real life, right? Use your voice, okay? And then branding. Again, I talk about branding all the time. You notice this entire presentation is in my colors. Okay. You notice I stamp my colors on all of my stories. All of my, video headlines are my colors. Like you gotta stand out a little bit. And you'll start to realize when you brand things, it comes out to where people remember that. Okay. So when they see these teal colors crossing their feed, they know it's me. Another thing, and these are for some of you that have been with me from day one of my new TikTok account. I used to start every single video. I'd start with the hook, and then I'd say, "I'm going to teach you how to make $5,000 to $10,000 a month online with digital products." If you're new here, I'm Elise Smith. I'm a mom of three. I had the same intro in probably my first 90 videos, and people could recite it back to me. And I ended up clipping that out because as the year went on, people's attention span got shorter and shorter. But seriously, it was so remembered. I would get voice memos of people reciting it back to me because it was remembered. Okay. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to just be remembered, but you also want people to remember how you made them feel. Okay. So you need to think about that when it comes to your branding. So some action items for this. How can you stand out? Make a list of 10 things that make you different or unique. Your voice, the way you talk, your experiences, right? Maybe something that, you do that other people don't do. If you don't know 10 things that make you different or unique, you need to go do some self-discovery. All right. Because I can tell you right now, when you start to get clients in your DMs or people wanting to work with you and they want to know why you're different, or they say, well, I've bought that, but I bought something like this before, it didn't work. Are you just going to say, okay, cool? No. Hey, I totally understand. You spent money on that course and I get it. You didn't get your ROI and you're upset about that. But let me tell you why Socially Awesome is different. Let me tell you why working with Socially Awesome is better. If you don't know why people should work with you, they damn sure don't. Okay. So it's time that you understand why you should stand out. You need to know. This could be 10 things you're good at. Okay. I'm exceptionally good. All right. At managing my time. I'm good at it. I've gotten good at it. I didn't come out that way. I used to be terrible with it. But for someone with severe ADD, I'm like one of the most productive people on the planet. So that is something that I'm confident in, right? So when I'm talking to students or maybe in my content, if I'm giving you productivity tips for your business, I'm confident. I got this. Like I can help you, right? I'm also a high performance coach. Like you want to see the trophy? Like it's back there, right? So I'm just good at it. You got to have some things that you're good at so you can have some confidence because 99% of your content problems are confidence. Okay. So really consider this. You need to make a list of this so that you know. Tip number 5, humanize your brand or humanize with your audience. Okay. So again, having that human element. And this is something I really, really hype on. But it's not about you. And this is something you need to really burn into your brain today. So many people I see on, like I said, I've done a bunch of content audits. I work with my students. It's not about you. All right. So when you're creating content that you're like, I like this topic. I love this program. This program's amazing. It's game changing. It's changed my life and blah, blah, blah. They don't care. They don't. Not unless it relates back to them, right? When it comes to sales, people don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. People are naturally wired to be selfish, okay? They got their own problems. They don't care how much your groceries cost. Theirs cost a lot, right? They don't care. If I made a video today about how I just spent $700 on a Sam's order, yeah, my groceries are a lot, right? You wouldn't care. You would not care. You might get a couple people in the comments that are like, oh, same, right? But that's not a sale. So it's really important that you focus on making content that your audience wants to see, not that you want to create. And this is the hardest thing for people, especially in their first year, because they love the course they took. They love the program. This is so amazing. They're motivated and inspired and excited about what they're doing. Your audience does not care about that. They care about, why is this even relevant? Like, why should I even watch this video? So you got to start humanizing your brand, bringing your hype down a couple levels, okay? Bringing it down a couple levels. Start talking about how it can help them on a human level, okay? So not just trying to make a sale, not just pushing it on them, but humanize, empathize with people, okay? It's really, really important. Some ways to do this: be vulnerable. Be vulnerable in your content, right? Don't be afraid to share your story. Again, it's not about you, but the reason storytelling is so popular in content is because you're showing your own transformation, okay? Your own transformation. So there is a unique art form to creating storytelling content that's like, hey, I did this, and now I want to teach you how to do it, okay? And it has to be the solution, right? You can't make a piece of content that's like, here's how you're going to make $500 a month for your family. Buy my thing. It does not work. Okay. Be vulnerable. Empathize with people. Connect. Look, I totally get it. A year ago, I was checking my bank account as I'm pushing that buggy up to the cashier at Walmart because I was so scared that my card was going to be declined. And I realized I really just needed an extra $500 a month because the cost of bananas and eggs were just insane. And I decided to take a chance and learn how to make money online. And what I found was if I focused, and made content during nap time, it would really, it gave me the opportunity to bring in an income while I stayed from home. And let me teach you how to do it too. So step one, you're going to want to figure out, what area online you want to be in and go from there. Like, be a freaking human. Okay. Don't be ChatGPT's replica. And don't be a salesperson. Serving is selling. Burn that in your brain. All right. Again, it's not about how, it's about how you make people feel. They will remember how you made them feel. All right. Be vulnerable. Tell your story. That also includes your failures. All right. I see way too many pieces of content from people coming out saying, I made X amount of dollars and X amount of months as a complete beginner. Bullshit. Bullshit. You tried 50 businesses before that. You had every other side hustle going, and you were in network marketing for a decade. You're not a beginner. Okay. So this is why you need to be vulnerable and tell your story so people believe you, because there's way too much jargon out there that people don't believe. All right. Second thing, to really help with humanizing your brand, documentation over creation always. All right. So some examples of that. Instead of sitting down and staring through your screen going, oh my God, I don't know what I'm supposed to say in this video to make a sale. I haven't made a sale yet. My husband's mad. I spent all this money and, instead of trying to go create something, document, right? Document your story. Tell people it's day 101 of being a digital marketer. These are the 5 things I've learned you should not do. Like, document that. Like, how many people would want that, right? Or even like your videos, your visuals. We talked about earlier, like my student Vanessa, taking video of her making reviews. We talked about her setting up a camera and taking B-roll of her creating these reviews so that she can use it for her content. That's like in the life, right? In the life. So how can you document versus create? Think about that. So as you're going through your DMs, as you're going through your comments, as you're learning things, that can be content. You just have to make sure that it is relevant to your audience, something they give a shit about, and that your call to action will lead back to it. Okay? It will lead back to it. Another very underutilized way to humanize your brand is go live. Go live, right? Way too much content is filtered, is clipped and edited, and so people can't see the screw ups. They can't see that you're real, that you answer questions in real life, that you are, they can't maybe hear your influx of voice, your tone of voice. And if you're a faceless brand, this is going to be hard for you, obviously. But for most of you are not faceless in my audience, go live. Okay. There was a point where I was going live on TikTok for like an hour every single day at night. And I don't do that anymore because it got to be where I was taking a lot of time away from my kids and my family. But I do consistently and have consistently gone live every single week, Wednesday at noon. All right. Every single week, Wednesday at noon. One, it's evergreen content. So these lives live in my Facebook community forever. Forever. People are still watching the videos I did 2 years ago. All right. Second, you've already seen me stumble and cuss and lose my words like 18 times. So you're like, okay, she's perfect. That's the whole point of humanizing your brand. All right. So go live often. All right. Post a day in the life story or go live, share something personally related to your business, right? Maybe why you started, maybe mistakes that you made, you wish you would have known at the beginning. Make sure it's relevant to your ideal client. Okay. Give your audience a peek behind the curtain. What does it really look like to work with you? All right. To work with you. That's important. All right. I'm going to speed up a little bit because I told you guys it was going to be a little longer than normal today, but tip number 6, position yourself as an expert. Before I go any further, I really hope you hear me when I say this. Way too many people, and a lot of the questions on the feed that I, ask people for questions for today. What do I do if I'm not an expert, right? What do I do if I'm not an expert? Too many people are doubting their knowledge, their ability. Okay. So hear me when I say this. You only need to know 10% more than the person you are helping. All right. So if you are helping beginners, then they haven't even started yet. To them, you are an expert. You know a whole lot more than them. All right. Stop discrediting or second guessing what people consider valuable. Okay. Also, it's really important that you burn this into your brain. If people are asking you questions, if they're in your comments and they're in your DMs and they're asking you something, they probably already see you as an expert. All right. Because 99% of the time, if they knew the answer to that question, they would not be asking you. If they knew the answer to the question, if they could find it on their own, they wouldn't be asking you. So they already see you as an expert, but you're discrediting all of the work you've put in, all the credibility you've built. You're discrediting that because of fear. Fear that you might be wrong, fear that they might not like your answer, your own doubts that you're telling yourself, I'm not an expert yet. Okay. You need to burn that in your brain. If they're asking you a question, they don't know the answer. So they already see you as someone credible enough to ask. Also, don't think that something is too simple to share. Okay. That was a huge mistake I made in my business when I first got started. So I would do these live trainings and I was training on like corporate level marketing. All right. So like things these big brands do. That's what I did in corporate for years. And I realized it was going over a lot of my audience's head. It wasn't things that they could say, okay, I can go put this in my business. Not that they didn't understand it, but they were like, how does that apply to me? Right. And I started paying attention to my comments and my DMs, and people were asking me, how do I add captions on a reel? How do I put a picture on top of a picture story? Like the most basic things people didn't know how to do. And I'm over here trying to like, give you a marketing college course. And I'm like, really? Okay. So don't think that you don't know something that could help people. All right. You only need to know 10% more, but you do have to believe in yourself in order to make it happen. All right. So it's really important. And if you don't know the answer, if you're getting DMs or something, questions that you don't know the answer to, let them know. Hey, I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm going to go find it for you. Or I don't know the answer to that question, but Chad, I just saw him join my live. Chad might be able to answer that for you. Let me get you his handle. You can shoot him a DM and I'll let him know that you're sending it to him. Right? So being an expert doesn't mean you're an expert at everything, right? If somebody asks me about funnels or this or that, I might be like, yo, wrong person. But I know people I can point them to, and I'm being resourceful. That's valuable. So when you're looking at being in a position of authority to your audience, one, ask them, what do they want to know, right? We talked earlier about you're probably creating content for yourself and you need to be creating it for them. So ask them, post stories. Hey, what is something you'd like to see me create content about? Post, a reel or in a TikTok video and say, let me know in the comments if you like what I shared today so I could share more of it. I did that in my IG broadcast channel this morning. I did something different. I did a screen recording of how to do something on your IG stories. And I said in the broadcast channel, if you want more tips like this, heart this message so that I know you care about this, right? I asked them. It's that simple. Okay. It's that simple. Be resourceful. We just talked about this. Be a resource, right? We talked earlier about staying on top of things that are trending. I often do content that's like, did you see this update? Did you see what TikTok just released? Did you see that Mark Zuckerberg just announced that he admitted to suppressing content, right? So like those types of things. I'm not a news broadcaster, but bringing some of the updated information, people find me resourceful. So they're going to follow me. They're going to engage with me so that they stay up to date on what's happening on the platform. Obviously, that's my ideal client. You need to do this for yours. So somebody asks a question I don't know the answer to, I'll tell them, hey, I don't know the answer to that. Let me go look and see if I can help you find it. I go ask ChatGPT, I go Google it for them, whatever. Make sure it's a credible resource and bring it back to them and say, hey, this is actually what I found. Now, obviously, I can't do this for all 72,000 people on TikTok. Like that would take me forever. But when I'm working with people and they're asking me questions, I go try to find the answer. Because if they could find it on their own, they wouldn't be asking. Right? Now, there is that 1% of people that just don't even try to find the answer on their own, but they might see you as an expert and they want your opinion on it. Stop discrediting yourself. And then lastly, educating people. Okay. So if you're not educating people in your content, then you're just hustling. And that is what it is. Okay. So educating doesn't have to be like, here's the top 10 tips you need to know to grow on TikTok today. It can be thought-provoking, right? So maybe I'm telling my story about these are the 5 mistakes I made when I started my business. Please don't make these too. And I educate people on the mistake I made, what it did, how it hurt my business, and how not to make that mistake. That's education. Even I'm not being Webster's dictionary. I'm not trying to be, Google. They can Google tips on their own. I'm trying to give them thought-provoking things that are like, yo, okay, I've been doing that for a while. Maybe that's why this isn't working. That is educating people. Okay. That's also building your authority because you're sharing your transformation and where you've been, where you started, where you are now, and how it's going to help people. Okay. So educate people. I gave some of these tips in a recent content audit I did, but like a lot of times people have a good hook or it's a relatable hook. They're like, okay, I just wanted to save for a babysitter money. I wanted to be able to send my daughter to preschool. I needed an extra $500 a month. This is what I did, right? And then they go into, I learned how to be a digital marketer. That is not educating anyone. That's going straight for the sale, right? You got to start educating. These are the steps I took And digital marketing was the answer. This is the answer I found. So your program, your offer is not the solution. Okay. It's the answer. The solution is the actual transformation. That is where there's a huge disconnect in your content. All right. So action step for this: plan or post a mini tutorial or some sort of educational content today. No, you don't have to be an expert to do this. Okay. If you can use ChatGPT, there's 1,000 people out there that can't. They don't know how. If you can create something in Canva, whatever, just make sure it relates to your ideal client. Okay. So if you're in the health and fitness space and you're helping postpartum moms lose weight, don't go teach them how to, create a graphic. That's not going to help them. Right. So teach them how to cook a pound of chicken in an hour so that they can meal prep for the week. Right. Think about things you can teach them and make sure it relates back to your offer. All right. Number 7, collaborate. I cannot stress this enough, but your job as a marketer is to create more conversations. And one of the fastest ways to create more conversations is to collaborate. Okay. Now, some of the reasons you might not be collaborating with other people is because fear of losing a sale, right? You're worried that if you bring someone else in that does the same thing as you or something similar, that people are going to like them more. That's a fear. Okay. Not a fact. So you need to get over that. All right. So we talked today about how to stand out. Think about some people you can collaborate that will be valuable to your audience. All right. Because ultimately 2 heads are better than 1, right? 2 heads are better than 1. Just it's that simple. So think about some ways, some people you could collaborate with. Maybe there's somebody you've been following and they might tell you no. All right. So go ahead and get ready. As a marketer, your job should be able to hear more no's. Okay. Because if you're hearing a lot of no's, you're getting way closer to the yeses. If you're not hearing anything, you're not reaching anyone. Okay. So 2 heads are better than 1. Think about some people you could collaborate with. Some ways I've been doing this, and I did put it on pause during this summer, just while my kids were out of school. I didn't want to add anything extra, but I've done guest trainings. So I've come into other people's, Facebook communities or maybe their coaching program. I've done guest trainings on something that they find I teach better. Right. And make sure it's beneficial to everyone. Right. I used to bring guests into Socially Awesome community. We're getting back to that too. We actually have a guest at the end of this month. So stay tuned. It's really exciting. But some things that maybe they're not my direct competition. They're not another business coach. Right. But what are some things I could bring into my community that would help you? Maybe a CPA, because all of you are entrepreneurs. You got to file taxes. Okay. That's like a requirement. So maybe I bring a CPA in to teach you about maybe some of the top tax credits you didn't know about or tax deductions you didn't know about, right? Maybe I bring in a funnel expert to teach you about how funnels can help bring in more sales, right? Maybe I bring it, think about some people you could collaborate with that's valuable to your ideal client, but maybe not direct competition, right? What are the benefits of collaborating? New audiences. So you're going to get in front of their audience, right? So if I go collaborate with someone who has a Facebook group of 3,000 people, I'm getting in front of 3,000 more people, and I'm not depending on the algorithm to do it. So you're getting in front of new audiences. This is another reason I say at the end of every one of my podcast episodes, if you didn't know I have a podcast, I do. Okay. So you can find it at my stand store. You can drop podcast if you're on IG or Facebook, and we'll get you that link. But every one of my episodes, I say, screenshot this, throw it in your stories and tag me. And I'm going to share it with my audience. So the people that do that, I share it to my stories and I tag them. They're now getting in front of my audience. Okay. So I'm sorry, TikTok, my phone's ringing. All right. Declined. So getting in front of other people's audiences can exponentially grow you quickly. Okay. Dual lives, go live with someone, right? What is valuable? So again, thinking about what's valuable to your ideal client. So I could bring in a branding expert, teach you how to make graphics. I could bring in an editing expert, right? I teach more on strategy. That's my goal. Content strategy, business strategy, automation strategies. Those are all elements of my programs. So I can bring people in that are experts in all of the different areas and building a network. Okay. If you're trying to do this business alone, you're going to feel alone. Okay. So your job as a marketer is to create more conversations. And when you start networking with other people, they're going to start referring you to other people. I see people tagging other people in the comments all the time in my trainings because they find my trainings valuable and they want someone else to know about them. Right? Another thing, same thing if you're doing any kind of business in person. I have a student who is currently building a virtual assistant agency, and she had a meeting, actually she might be at it right now, with a franchisee about becoming a virtual assistant for them. And he's bringing 2 other franchisees today to lunch. Right? Because he likes her and he thinks she's valuable and he thinks she does good work. So her connecting with one person led to a bunch. I had one person refer 4 agency clients to me when I was running my agency full time. So start building a damn network, okay? And not some surface level generic relationship where you're like, if you like my post, I'll like your post. No, start building relationships with people and referring people to them, and they will refer people back to you. Okay, it's so important. It's so important. All right. So last but not least, and action item, sorry. Reach out to someone in your industry. And if you're struggling with this, do some research, take some time on this one. To someone that you know, in your audience that you find valuable, or maybe a creator. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you go try to DM a creator that's got 1 million followers, they're probably not gonna reply to you. All right. But try to, and another thing is, I would not have it be my first DM. I wouldn't DM them out of the blue if you've never talked to this person before and been like, yo, can we go live? No. All right. Build a relationship with that person first. But if there is someone that you have a relationship with, a business bestie of some sort, reach out to them about doing some sort of collaboration. Okay. It's important. All right. Last but not least, and I would think this one's self-explanatory, but I have learned really quickly to not assume anything. Customer service, okay? And I actually have 2 TikTok videos going out about this week. So I'm going to kind of skim through. I might make some people angry with this, but it's important. All right. You need to provide good customer service. Okay. You would think that's self-explanatory, but one thing that's missing in the online space is there's so many people that are selling something they didn't create, right? A program, an MRR course, an affiliate program, something like that. And so they kind of just depend on everyone else to do customer service, whoever owns the program, right? There's pluses and there are minuses to this. And here's some things you need to know. All right. 1, you need to provide good customer service one way or another. Okay. That does not mean that you go out giving everyone a refund. That does not mean that you go out answering every single question in the DMs and giving everything away for free. Hell to the no. All right. You're a business owner. Okay. You're a business owner. So I'll give you some examples because I love examples. I get DMs so many a day. Okay. Y'all want to know why it takes me 48 hours to get back to DMs? This is why. I get DMs every day on TikTok, probably 20 a day, that say, hey, I need help. That's the whole DM. They don't tell me anything about what they need help with. They don't tell me who they are, what they're selling, nothing. And that's okay. We respond and say, hey, how can I help you? All right. Then we get into the conversation and they're like, well, my TikTok content stuck in 200 views. Okay. How long have you been in business? What's going on? I don't know. I've been posting 3 times a day. It's not working. Okay. Well, let me get you, some information on the TikTok Tactics Challenge. Maybe that would be a good resource for you to start. Oh, you're not going to audit my account for free? No, I'm not. I'm so sorry. Like, I have free trainings every week. I put out a shit ton of free content and I give away a lot of tips. Okay. So no, I'm not going to audit your account for free. And they get mad. All right. So providing good customer service means let's just get to the next slide. Answering your audience. Okay. Responding to your comments and honoring your word. That does not mean giving things away for free. I see way too many DMs, comments, posts, videos of people that are like, I bought this course and the girl I bought it from won't even answer me. Right? Okay. Yes, she needs to answer you and respond to you. Does she need to stay with you and make sure your business works? No, she doesn't. You bought a course. A course is self-led. Okay. So I think the expectations are misunderstood on social media of what good customer service is. But the best way you can do this, and like I said, I'm going to make a full video on this because after the DMs I've had this week, I was in a mood. But the best way you could do this is set the expectations for your audience, okay? By answering your DMs, replying to their comments, and honoring your word. If you say you were going to do something, do it, okay? Do it. But also letting them know, hey, I'll get back to you by Friday, and get back to them by Friday. Okay. If you say you were going to give them a coupon on something, give them the damn coupon on something. If you promised them that you were going to help them with that course, you better. Okay. But good customer service just means that you are communicating. It does not mean that you're doing everything for everyone. All right. You go call a specialist today and try to get in a doctor's appointment for a specialist. That specialist is going to be like, you got to pay that $85 copay up front, and our next available appointment's October of 2026. They're not about to give you an appointment for free. They don't care if you say you're not going to be available in October of 2026. Okay. So that's just not that. It doesn't mean letting your boundaries down. It means honoring your word. All right. So providing good customer service does help you stand out, because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten people that have thanked me via email or DM and saying, thank you for responding. They're just thanking me for replying back, because they've sent so many DMs and not gotten a response. Okay. If you're sitting in my DMs and you're waiting on a response, like I said, I get hundreds a day. So I promise we're going to get to you, or you might be in my spam folder. We check that like 3 times a week. But the point being that you need to define what's good customer service for your business. Okay. And honor it. And not just depend upon the program or affiliate, whatever that you're affiliating for. If you're relying on someone else to handle your customer service, it could be hurting your brand, because if they're not handling it the way you would handle it, there's a disconnect. Okay. So set some, expectations of what you consider good customer service. All right. So action item for this, take a few minutes to respond to your comments and your DMs today. If you're not already, you're going to get to a level in your business where you can't respond to every single comment. It's going to happen, right? I mean, between Facebook, IG, TikTok, you name it, it's almost impossible for us to respond to every comment. And I have 2 assistants that help me do it. Okay. 9 times they only respond to the ones that say, this was helpful, this is good. They might say, thank you, something like that. Okay. I am still on the platform every day, and I respond to questions, things like that. That's me. But there's going to be a level where you can't respond to every comment. But if you're struggling for engagement or you're not standing out, you need to be responding to everyone, because that's going to teach you what's working and what's not working. Okay. And show people that you care, right? Show people that you care. So example of that, I had a DM the other day from someone that was looking at my academy. I told them I didn't think they were ready for the academy just yet. So I offered them the club. She said she wanted to talk to her husband. It was like a whole back and forth thing. And I said, look, I totally understand. I don't pressure. I'm not a pressurer. I'm not going to try to push you for a sale. You let me know if it's a go for you or not, what your husband says. Because 9 times out of 10, the husband excuse or the spouse excuse is bullshit. It's something else. It's their own fear. Maybe they made a bad investment previously or whatever. Not saying people don't have conversations in their marriage, but 9 times out of 10, it's a front. Okay. It's not the real problem. And so she came back a week later and said, my husband said no. I've spent so much money in my business right now, maybe next month. And I said, totally get it. Let me get you the link to my podcast. And I know you were telling me that you were struggling with content creation and hooks. I'm going to recommend a couple episodes for you. So I took an extra second, even though she told me no, she didn't buy anything, to get her 3 links to my podcast. That's an extra second. Okay. Maybe 5 minutes it took me. I could have been like, totally get it. See you next year. Like I could have just boom, let her go. But people remember how you made them feel. Okay. She will remember that. She might have her own doubts right now about, investing in her business or investing in herself. And that's okay. But when she's ready, she's going to remember me. And whether she ever buys from me or not, I will continue to serve. Okay. I'll continue to serve. So that is something important that you need to establish in your business as well. How do you serve people? How do you provide good customer service? All right. So one thing I want to tell you, and stick with me, I got some announcements, and then I'm going to I'm going to collect all the questions and answer them. If you want, okay, I'm going to put this out there. If you want to hold yourself accountable, okay, because 9 times out of 10, you're not holding yourself accountable. That's why you feel like all these plates are spinning in the air and nothing's getting done. Take a minute. You didn't have to right now, but watch this replay, go through the action items, write them down. You are welcome to DM me them on IG. DM me one of these action items you're going to do right away, 2, 3, 4, I don't care how many. I want to celebrate with you. I want to congratulate you. If I've got some feedback I can give you, I will absolutely do that. But the biggest piece missing in your online business is implementation. So more than likely, you are doing all the things, and they're either all the wrong things or they're not the money-making tasks. All right. And so it's time that you start holding yourself accountable and implementing things. And that I want to help celebrate. I want to help, give you feedback on that. So feel free to DM me on IG. I am directing most of my DMs these days to Instagram, because TikTok, it puts them all in the freaking message request folder, and I can't communicate with you the way I want to communicate with you. And Facebook, I get about 300 a day. So to keep up with them, it's very difficult. So if you want to hold yourself accountable, if you want to share with me one of these action items or all, I don't care. I would love to celebrate them with you. Okay. And if I can help you anyway, give you any feedback, I absolutely will. With that being said, if you haven't already registered for the Social Success Challenge, now is the time. So if you missed last week's training, I went live and I talked about the challenge, but I'm going to give you like a brief overview. It is a 30-day step-by-step challenge to build your marketing plan from scratch. So you're probably creating content if you're watching this live. Okay. You're probably already doing that for your business, and more than likely you're overwhelmed, right? You're like, I'm posting all the time and still haven't made a sale yet. I've been at this for 6 months. Like, how much longer can I do this? You might also be thinking, I don't know what to say in my content. I feel like I'm boring. I feel like I'm salesy, all of those things. You're so focused on content. You're so inside your business. You're not working on your business. Okay. Your content strategy is one piece of your marketing plan. Your marketing plan needs to cover your branding, your content, your marketing, okay, and your sales. All of that has to be combined in order for you to hit big numbers, is what it is. So you focus so much on this one minute piece of your marketing plan, you don't have a marketing plan. And so that's part of the reason you're so overwhelmed. You don't know what direction you should go in your business. Maybe you don't know, even how to get to your goals. It's not broken down for you. And so you are like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. You probably are even questioning entrepreneurship. I don't know if this is for me. All right. Maybe I need to go back to a job. Maybe you're still at your job and you're like, oh, I'm just wasting my time with this. It's just not working. It's because you never had a plan. You didn't build a business on a solid foundation. And that's not your fault, right? You get into these courses, you get in these programs, and they're like, all right, go make 3 pieces of content every day, engage for 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after. They don't teach you how to build a freaking business. They teach you how to be an influencer. And you're probably not an influencer. Okay. You're probably building a business. There's 2 different types of business models. Okay. So with the Social Success Challenge, every day for 30 days, it's a live challenge. So I'm going to be inside it. It's not pre-recorded. Every day for 30 days, I'm going to give you an action step. Okay. And together, we're going to build your marketing plan from scratch. So yes, that will cover some content. Yes, that will cover your sales processes. Yes, that will cover your branding. Okay. A couple questions I've had about the challenge. A lot of people want to know, how is this different than the masterclass I just had, or maybe my club or my academy? So like the masterclass was super focused on content and building a content strategy. And that's one piece of the challenge. Okay. That's one piece of your marketing plan. But the problem is, and I'm the reason this challenge was created is because so many people have either joined my master classes, whether it be that one or previous ones, these trainings in my community. And they're like, I know all the things I should be doing, but I don't know where to start. right? You have a list of like, make a sales funnel, write the emails, SEO, do this, do that. And you're like, I don't know what to prioritize first. So you end up doing nothing. And so you're working in your business every day. You're showing up in your business every day. You're there, you're on this live, you're watching, you're showing up, but you're never working on your business. So you're basically an employee instead of being a CEO. Okay. So the challenge is focused on getting you out of employee mode and into CEO mode. So every day for 30 days, you're going to get a quick training. They're going to be 10 minutes or less. Okay. And all the training's focused on is teaching you the action item for the day and why it's important for your business. And if I have templates for the day, or I have like I'm creating templates and things for you to use, then you'll be able to take that and go plug and play. But the entire focus of the challenge is implementation. All right. I don't want to stick you behind a computer, make you watch a bunch more videos. You're done with that. You've already watched thousands of hours and you're still throwing spaghetti at the wall. So step by step every day for 30 days. I will be live in this challenge, so it's not recorded. Well, obviously the trainings will be recorded, but the group is live. So we have a community that's private for people in the challenge. I'll have a questions feed for you to post your questions to. So if you're stuck on an action item, I'll be there to give you feedback. Okay. But together, you and I are going to build your marketing plan for your business. All right. If you went into a bank tomorrow, tried to get some money for a loan for your business, they're going to want your business plan, your marketing plan. So it's time you start building that foundation. Okay. So if you want to join the challenge, please listen to this, because last week I had so many people that did it wrong. If you're on Facebook or Instagram right now, you can drop the word success in the comments and we will get you the link to register. Okay. Because TikTok does not allow me to automate. All right. So I cannot automatically send it to you. If you're on TikTok, DM me the word success on IG. Don't leave now, but once this is over, and I will get you the link. And the reason for that, the reason it's not in my stand store, is because I am doing a tiered pricing system for this one. And I shared about this on my stories on IG yesterday, but I want to work with action takers. Okay. I don't want to work with a bunch of people that have excuses. Everyone's got excuses. All right. Everyone's got something going on in their life. I want to work with the people who are ready to take action, that are like, okay, tell me what to do. I want to do it. I'm ready. So I did a tiered pricing with this one, because the sooner you decide and commit to yourself, I am ready to prove to myself this business is going to be profitable, this business is work. The sooner you make that decision, the cheaper it is for you to join my challenge. So the first 30 people, and I backed my academy students out of this. So for those of you that don't know, if you're in my academy, you actually get, all my master classes and stuff like that included in being in the academy. But I backed them out, so I didn't count them in this. So it would be fair. But the first 30 people got it for $37. We're already about halfway through the people getting it for $67. So we're about 15 people into that number right now. So there's about 15 left at 67. And then the next 30 get it at 97. And then everybody after that pays 197. And I'm sticking to it. I had 3 people DM me yesterday. One just asked a question because I think she missed it at 37. But I had 3 people ask me if they could get a coupon. No, I'm not. I'm standing to this, because I want you to make a decision right now to stop hee-hawing. Stop saying, well, I'll think about it. You might be thinking to yourself, oh, she'll give it to me for 37. No, I will not. You're going to get the same answer as everyone else. Okay. And I'm sticking to it because I want you to make a decision. The indecisiveness in your business, the back and forth, and maybe I should pivot. Maybe I should promote this. Maybe I should, that is hurting your business a whole lot more than the extra $30. You got to start making decisions. You got to start being the CEO. You got to start showing up differently. That's what the whole challenge is about. All right. So if you're on TikTok, like I said, you can DM me the word success over there. We will get you the link. I will respond to you after this live and get you that link in order of people that responded. Okay. So again, you can sit and watch next week. Maybe you'll see it at 97 and you're gonna be like, man, I should have got in last week. That's what you get for not making a decision. Okay. Being a business owner is about making decisions. All right. One more quick announcement, and then I'm going to answer questions. So if you did miss the Sales Machine Masterclass, this is one that I dropped last month. This is free. Okay. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does. I had a lot of people requesting how my rinse and repeat strategy actually works. So I created this masterclass to teach you step by step how my rinse and repeat system works, how I have created 5-figure months. I haven't made less than 5 figures a month in the last 18 months without creating new content every single day or spending 24/7 on social media. So if you want that, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you can drop machine. We will get you the link to that. If you're on TikTok, it's in my stand store. Okay. But the Sales Machine Masterclass is live. So if you haven't already grabbed it, I don't know why you wouldn't. It's free. Okay. So let me get to the questions. I'm going to start with, I'm going to go back to this page in case you guys need the name of this. All right. Let me go through IG. Washington, welcome. Someone on Instagram said they couldn't hear me. You probably have to turn the volume on, okay? Because other people can. Let's see. Yay! Yeah, so if you need to jump off and get back on, I know I went very long today, but I wanted to be super thorough on this topic. The recordings are always on my business page and they're inside my Facebook community. So you can always go check that out. All right. I don't think we have any questions on Facebook. So let me get to the questions on TikTok really quick. And then I'm going to let you guys go. If you have to jump off, feel free. No pressure, but I'm going to record the questions on TikTok today. Last week I did not. And somebody said they wanted to hear what people on TikTok had to say. So let's see. All right. Let me scroll back to the top. I really can't wait for TikTok to allow me to go live on computer. It would be so awesome. Atlanta. All right. Let me see, what question do y'all have? Hello from Massachusetts. Let's see. I've been listening to the replays for 12 hours. I'm at work. I heard your voice all day. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's see. I've gotten the most since training with you. Thank you for saying that. You know, that is something, you guys, that I mean, I hope all of my students will tell you that, but my main goal is to make sure you don't leave my programs without, with questions. So I try to really focus on answering all of your questions and just being interactive. So thank you for sharing that. Let's see. I've spent a lot of money on coaching in the last 2 years, and some of it I was like, I don't even know who to ask the questions to. Like, I don't even know where to go. Let's see. I might have been making content for me. Yes. So it's really important. And I know you're excited about what you're doing in the program. And I'm going to tell you, as someone, like I said, that struggles with severe ADD, it's very easy for me to say, like, oh my God, I want to make a video about this. And then I have to rein it back in and say, I'm excited about this, but would my ideal client be excited about this? Right? So all of your content really, really has to be focused on your ideal client and what they care about. And what you also have to realize is they're not probably where you are, right? So that's one reason where I've been in business for 2.5 years now. The things I find exciting, you might not, because you might not have been in business that long yet, right? It might not be that point yet. So that's where you really have to understand your ideal client and where they are in their journey before making content. Okay, it's really important. Let's see. Yeah, Jim says roadmap exclusive has me nervous. I got to set my link up and all that today. That's on my goal today. Has me nervous about what to post now after talking about the FTC will shut people down. So Jim's absolutely right. The FTC made some announcements recently that they are heavily going through social media and looking at income claims and things like that. So educate yourself on that topic. All right. Do your research. If you're in roadmap exclusive, watch the modules. But we all kind of know what happened to Legendary and all that. There is a handful of network marketing companies that have gone to different models, like affiliate models, because of these things. So really important that you go educate yourself on that, and, setting those expectations, having those disclaimers. But you can build a huge business without income claims, you guys. Absolutely can. Okay. So focus on the solution and, providing and be knowledgeable and standing out. But Jem, you're absolutely correct. They just recently announced that they're cracking down on it more and more. Yeah, Chad said it's taken me a while to get to the expert confidence level. I love that. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Chad. Chad says, I have a hard time helping when someone asks for help, or I have a hard time saying no. So look, guys, this is what I want you to understand, because that was me in the beginning, right? I had no boundaries in my business. Like, I was coaching in the DMs, like giving you everything you needed to know in the DMs. And it does you a disservice and them, right? Because it's not all about money. My husband will tell you all day long, like, I'm very impact driven. I'm monetarily driven. Now, I love not having to check my bank account before I go to Sam's, because like I told y'all earlier, it was like $750 for the groceries I ordered earlier. So it's pretty nice to not be so tight, but I'm an impact driven person, right? I'm an impact driven person. So where I'm going with this is, like, it does you a disservice and them a disservice to give everything away for free. So, like, I don't gatekeep. I tell you what you need to do. I tell you most of the time how to do it. But the thing is, most people need someone to walk them through it. Most people need help. They need assistance, right? So that's why, like, when you're talking to me about a one-on-one call, yeah, there's a charge. Like, I don't do free 1-hour coaching calls. One, it wouldn't be fair to the students in my programs. It's not fair to me, because my time is my most, scarce asset of all things. But it's also not helping you if I'm doing all of that for free in the DMs, right? So what you need to know as a business owner is, people don't value what they get for free. That's why 99.9% of you that watch this training today will not put it into action. You won't do anything with this information today. You'll be like, oh, she's cool. I like her. You might have followed me. Thanks for that. But you will not take anything I taught you today and put it into your business, because you didn't pay anything for it. It's free, right? Most people don't value things they get for free. So you cannot help them and get them the transformation or the result they need to get when you're doing it for free in the DM. So Chad said, I have a hard time saying no when someone needs help. So more than likely, he's walking them through how to build funnels and all these things in the DMs. Doesn't help them, because you can ultimately give a much better transformation when you're on a call with them or when you're doing it with them, right? Versus just telling them how to do it. So I don't want to give you half-ass information. I don't want to, tell you how to do something in DMs and then you come back and be like, well, I did it. It didn't work. Well, you probably didn't do it right. So that's why it's important for you as a business owner, if you truly are serving people. I know it's hard when people ask for help. You want to just give it to them for free. And that's why you have your free resources. That's why you do free content. That's why you have free trainings. Maybe you do free podcasts. I put out so much free information. But when it comes to things that take my time, then you have to charge. You have to learn to be comfortable charging for that. Okay, you do. As a business owner, you have to step up and be okay with that and be comfortable with that. Because there's going to be something or someone that is going to come back and be like, well, that didn't help me. And that's because they didn't get the full experience working with you. Okay. So be confident in your boundaries with your time. All right. Be confident in that. All right. Let's see. I need help with my business. Yeah. So there's a lot of different elements. Feel free to DM me. Tell me a little bit about what's going on specifically, what you're struggling with, what your offer is, who your ideal client is. Like, give me some background information and I can make a recommendation for you on maybe, what's the best resource for you or what might be going wrong, what bottlenecks might be happening for you. All right. And that goes for everyone. Feel free to DM me. Just know it might be tomorrow before I reply, because I have a couple calls this afternoon. All right, let's see. I'm not with Roadmap. Can I still join your training? 100%. Absolutely. So, honestly, I think a large portion of my audience is with legacy builders. They're not with Roadmap at this point. But regardless, like I have students in my programs and in my trainings that have their own businesses of things that they've created. I have students that are with affiliate programs. I have students that are with MRR. So absolutely, my programs are geared towards helping you grow an online business, no matter what that business is. So that might mean if you are someone that's in a, a program or affiliate program, I might give you conflicting advice from them. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I did a TikTok on this last week, if your mentorship is coming from the same person getting a paycheck from you, it's a bad idea. You're getting skewed advice. Okay. So you can go watch that video if you want, but absolutely, like if you're growing any kind of online business, I've had students that are building tax businesses. I've had students that are, building t-shirt businesses. Like it's online marketing is, custom to your business as a whole. Yes, I did. I read it. I read it. I love it. I love it. Listen to my voice for 12 hours. Well, I hope it was worth it. Let's see. When you were starting out, how did you manage your time? I'm a full-time teacher and mama. All right. This is a good question. I'm going to end with this question because I think this is a perfect way to end. So when I was first starting out, most of you may or may not know this. If you're still sticking around, you can hear it. But I quit my job before I started my business. So that is difficult, right? Because I had all kinds of time, right? But I have had a lot of students and I have done network marketing and side hustles and things like that in the past when I was working full time. So the biggest piece when it comes to managing your time is one, scheduling everything. Okay. And I know it feels a little neurotic at first because you're like, oh my God, I gotta schedule it all. But when you have a schedule and you can stick to it, then you're able to be more productive during those hours, right? So if you are one thing that I like to do, I like to have a weekly cadence. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are calls for me. So those are my program days. So I work with my students. I have on calls. I have where you can book one-on-one calls with me, discovery calls for like big brands that maybe I'm consulting with. Tuesdays and Thursdays only. I don't get on Zooms on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. If I am in a coaching program or I am educating myself of some sort and I have modules I want to watch, I only watch them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's it. I'm not going to watch your video on Friday. I know that seems neurotic, but that's how I ensure I'm more productive. Wednesdays, I do my trainings, obviously, every Wednesday. And then time after that is for content creation. So I'm either going to go batch a bunch of videos after this, which is part of the plan. I also am creating all of my content for September right now. So yesterday I filmed all my podcast episodes. Today I'm creating all my content for my group, like a whole month at a time, right? Mondays are administrative days. So on Mondays, I go through all my receipts. I do my tax crap. I try to get my emails down to 0 if possible, so I have less for the week. I go through my spam folders, like anything computer administrative type, right? And then Fridays are actually free days. Social Awesome's closed on Friday. Now, with that being said, if I have something that didn't get finished or finalized, I'll do it on Friday, right? But it's also the time where I schedule my doctor appointments and all that. So just, I know with you working full time and, having children, one thing I would say is have some sort of plan that works for you. So maybe you take, 1 hour on, I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day of the week it is. And you plan all your content. So you write all your hooks, all your captions, all of that, right? And then you have another day where you take 1 hour and you film all the content, right? You film all the B-roll, all of that. And then you have another day where you put it all together. So you do the editing piece of it, okay? So that's 3 days out of the week. And if you did that, depending on how much time you can allocate, you every day you can, if you could get your DMO, your daily method of operations down to 15, 20 minutes, maybe that's something you do in your lunch break, right? But it really is having a schedule. So some tips that I've given my students before, a lot of them will do a lot of their DMO in the morning before they go to their job. So maybe they work 9 to 5. So I have a student that actually goes into the office an hour early and does her DMO at work because she's able to drop the baby off at daycare at 6:30. She gets to her office at 7. Between 7 and 8, she does her DMO. Okay. So she answers comments, she answers DMs, she answers emails, whatever her daily tasks are. Okay. And then after work, she gets home, does dinner, does the baby, all the things, and she edits her content together for the next day. So that way, when she's posting or when she's doing her DMO in the morning, it's in her drafts, it's ready. She just, clicks post. So scheduling it, whatever it is. So write down all of the tasks. I actually have a resource for you too. Okay, this might help. Write down all the tasks that you have for the day or that you do in your business and then bunch them together. So if you write down, I make content, I edit content, I write content, I respond to comments, I respond to DMs, I do, blah, 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 blah. And then say, okay, all these tasks require me to be on the phone. I'm going to put them in one cat. I'm going to do them all at one time. Right. So it really is about bunching. So, yeah, my pleasure. I don't know why I didn't think of this. I have done an entire training on Master Your DMO, and I have a free checklist. So if you DM me the word DMO on IG, I can send you the link to that training and that checklist and show you exactly how I've set my business up. Okay. And then Brandy's asking about the challenge. So if you want to join the Social Success Challenge, DM me the word success on IG. Okay. All right, guys, I got to run. I got a one-on-one call with someone. What's your IG on your profile? It's socially.awesome. And it's actually linked at the top of my IG. So or top of my TikTok. You should be able to click the IG button. I have a one-on-one call someone booked at 2. I got to run. But I'm really excited to see you in the challenge. As always, I go live every Wednesday at noon. So I hope that you have followed me so that you'll come join us. If you're not already in Socially Awesome Entrepreneurs, you can get this entire replay if you're just hopping on in there or on my Facebook business page. And I think that's it. One of the best ways to know what's going on in the Socially Awesome world, see the first things that I drop is also on IG. So if you're not hanging out with me over there, just give me a follow over there. A lot of new things coming on my stories every single day, a lot of exciting news. And I can't wait to share it with you guys. So I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.